This is your weekend market review for Saturday, October 19, 2024. Hey everyone, this is my channel to help investors and traders develop a probability-based mindset to succeed. Also try and keep friends informed of what's going on in the markets and the economy, and also a little real estate content as well. This is Dan Max at AAPL Realty, aka the Trading Agent. This is your weekend market review. Saturday, October 19th, 2024. Hopefully you survived options expiration week. Choppy, up and down, say the least. Not surprised. However, thought we would close more down. We did not. However, it's very interesting as you kind of look deeper into the market. You see all the liquidity that's being pumped in. You realize why. Unrealized losses on investment securities is rather staggering and consistently bad. And that's why, it kind of makes sense to me why banks, and in general, the junior banks have the biggest problems coming. At some point, whatever you want to say, the rubber meets the road. There are issues. How will they resolve? That's the question near term. Again, liquidity has been the answer. Will it always be the answer? That's the thing, right? Because we've seen what that causes. And inflation, consistent, higher inflation. Again, be careful out there. When we know going forward is that the election's coming, we know volatility, we know right now it looks like the market is priced in that Senior Donald is the winner. Right now he's up 16 points in certain polls. And again, whether you believe him or not, it doesn't really matter. The momentum seems to be clear. You look at the statistics, like when they live stream, how many people are actually watching each party's stuff and what's going on. And it seems like there's momentum with one. So if you have any questions, new to the channel, check out the Discord room. A link is in the description below. If you want help, again, I always tell this, check out the calendar, like 30 minutes. Let me know how I can help. If you're looking to buy, sell, invest in real estate, trading, the markets, thoughts, ideas, I got you covered. Again, free consultation. Again, this video in itself, warning, disclaimer. This is not professional information, meaning like, listen, this is all my opinion. Make sure you run it by your financial advisors. You got to do what you got to do. Follow, like, subscribe on Twitter. Appreciate you guys. Again, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Again, there's 52 videos on education. Check out the website as well. Updating this, didn't realize this had been stuck for a while. The Twitter updates as well. Used to be on the website, but it should be all inclusive. That's what we do. Recommended reading. Tons and tons of resources. And there you go. Discord, join. Turn profits into passive income and property. So let me know how I can help. Yeah, someone was reminding me I need to say the disclaimer more often. Again, this is my opinion. Always run it by your financial advisors. I'd love to offer help and insights, but again, you do what you got to do best for you and your family. Love offering my help, but yeah, you got to do what you got to do. We know there's one cut coming. Will there be two? And this is what's hard. It's like the feds are, you ever heard the saying, pushing on a string? Like you can pull on a string, but you can't push on it. This is hard. I struggle to figure out how the hell they're going to get out of this without rampant inflation if they start cutting now, especially with asset prices still up, bottlenecks in the economy, and geopolitical risk. Your guess is as good as mine on what's that. Again, I think this will kind of ramp up. They might end up having to pause, especially if the market holds up. Bitcoin, as we talked about, trading in ranges. Be careful. Breaking the downtrend or getting caught in an uptrend. We're at a really weird binary spot. You really have to get over 69, 70,000 to trust it. Oil backing off. We talked about this. Demand destruction. Geopolitical risk. This is in geopolitical risk, meaning this is why I think it will hold higher. But you got to be careful. This is one of those things. Just ten cuidado. Be careful. Natty gas. We talked about this. I love it long term, but I want to see it down in this range. Let me zoom out a little bit. Nice little M top. Seasonally come right back. Looks good to me. And again, this is another natural gas, another demand destruction kind of indicator. I don't know, just whatever you end up doing, this is what I'm saying. It's a trader's market, in my opinion. It's a trader's market. Indexes, we'll see. Dollar, this thing has been on fire. Stuff you don't see. Geopolitical risk, right? Dollar on fire, right? Economic slowing around the world. They come to the dollar. Keep an eye on it. It's just something things that don't make sense. To me, they don't. We'll see what happens. Again, sometimes the why resolves later. TLT, as we talked about, holding trend line. Congratulations if you took profits up here like we talked about. Started reloading down here some. Again, we talked about the first pop should pull back. Okay. Just watching. This is an easy trade. Define your risk. Set a stop and walk away. It's really that simple. Love it. VIX holding up really well. We talked about on the recap the other day, like I wouldn't be surprised if we got back to the 18 area. Ding, 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 ding. VIVIX gets you the 100 area. Ding, 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 ding. Okay, now what? That's the question, right? SPY. Let's go into the evidence. Let's see. A lot of holding up. Again, I talk about OPEX, TOPEX, CHOPEX. First and last business days of the month, OPEX can be tops. Right? Here's your beginning first 3 business days of the month. Right? Here's a beginning of the month. A CHOPEX bottom, maybe not really there. Again, it's a near-term top. Here we go. Again, is it a probability-based game or certainty? No one has certainty, but probability, repeating patterns. To me, when you look at the SPY near-term, definitely is broken out. It's just getting tired. These engulfing bars usually lead to something later. We'll see what happens at worst. Q fills the gap. So we talked about some of the homies. JSOLs especially like, it's going to fill. I'm like, no way. No, it did. Filled a gap with a gap. And then an engulfing bar. And then we said, holds the 20-day. Did. Now chopping around. Again, we have earnings, Tesla next week. I mean, we're in earnings season, right? Just be careful. IWM, here we go. Rips right back to the highs. Watching closely. DIA, which has been leading up. Seems to be holding up, but a lot of tight dojis. I don't know. Gold, finally getting it. I think we're getting it. And again, we'll see what happens if it continues on. Again, long term, I've said this. I'm on record with every video. It's hard to chase, right? You got the pullback. Longer term, I have zero doubt this stuff's going to be higher. Again, a year from now, no diggity, no doubt. Near term, your guess is as good as mine. I mean, again, this is where I've posted. Here, I'll check my monthly out. Let me doctor it up real quick. Just kidding. No. We talked about the big cup and handle on the monthly. Your first target's going to be this 270 range. Just so you're aware, if you're a long-term bullish, don't be surprised if it gets there and gets a little tired. Silver, finally, feels like it, right? That's a big bar with big volume. It's just, I hate Friday OPEX breakouts. I don't trust them so much. But hey, just if it follows through, you're good. That's all you got to do. Again, if you own this stuff, just you need to stay over 30. That's basically, you're good to go. GDX, we talked about the miners lagging and need to catch up. They look like they started catching up. GDXJ, especially the juniors, should lead, right? Right, there you go. AEM, this is where it was a little confusing. Lagging. Okay, whoop, there it comes, right back to the top. AG finally broke the downtrend, right? We talked about this. It's pretty strong with volume. So congratulations. This is where people get, frustrated with like the choppiness or the sloppiness or whatever. It's like, here's like AG's monthly. It's like interesting. Trading's hard sometimes. And again, it doesn't happen all in one day. Like imagine if you've been sitting here for what feels like 30 days, just waiting. That's what happens sometimes. Newmont, we'll see. I mean, this one looks like it's breaking out, right? We're getting over the resistance zone. Let's see if it can keep going. Again, long-term, very bullish on this stuff. I tell people all the time, like if you've been buying physical like we talked about over the last couple of years, anticipating the never-ending spending that was not going to stop, like these guys, I mean, and then again, it's not even about whether the spending stops or not. It's just inflation. The best hedges, I mean, money was just piling into what we'd consider, to me, Bitcoin, crypto, cool. It just doesn't have a 5,000-year history like some of this other stuff. And that's why I was like, I feel like in time, you'll be safe. So again, let's see what happens here. I'm not bearish by any means, but I also don't chase. But I'm also very happy and excited for the folks who do own it and who are long it. Because if you nailed it, fudge yeah. There you go. Here we go. Taiwan Semi gapped up on earnings. This looks a little ominous, y'all. Like that feels like a top. Like pricing and everything possibly good. What could go wrong, right? That's the question. You got to be careful now. Micron popping back to the 100-day, double top near term. AMD, this thing pops and just gets beaten right back. Everyone thought this gap was going to fill. And I'm like, if it's a downtrend, the gap doesn't have to fill. Like there's tons of gaps that won't fill. We'll see what happens here. I just was noticing this. There's definitely probably some trend coming into play here as we compress into maybe a pennant. Be careful. NVIDIA looks like it's going to break out. Again, everything priced in great. Watching all this action up here. OPEX, double top. I don't know. These candles get a little weird. But ultimately, you do have earnings coming. Could it break out? I mean, this is the thing. I mean, the more likely that, and this is what's so hard. If you go look at like the monthly, you can see what's going on here. Like big choppy slop range, right? The question you got to ask yourself is everything priced in perfectly? And if it is, and China starts pulling their, doesn't want our chips because they think they're somehow linked with United States. Don't even get, you know what I'm saying. Same thing. Do we even want to sell chips? Will we protect ourselves? That's the question you got to ask. These guys, I mean, again, we saw ASML's numbers. They were not good, y'all. Not good. SMCI try, and this one feels like, again, watching the 50-day, this could be a base to pop. Just be careful, though, because if there is the DOJ stuff and it's becoming a problem, this could come right back down. This could be a big choppy range. Be careful. Intellectual property, let's try to speed this up. Again, I think they're going to get delisted at some point, whatever. SMH, again, I like the Soxis. If you bought it down here, 18, 19, 20, I feel pretty confident about it. Again, I think when money does, the markets, if they are going to be led, you see what's leading. It's materials. It's not tech. People are like, what do you mean? It can't be tech. I'm like, just be careful. Tech, again, there's a rotation. There's an actual, money flows, right? Like, think of like water. And when it does, you got to be careful. If you're holding on to stuff that the tide's going out, you're not going to have the upside returns like you will, say, for like certain materials, in my name, industrials, all the stuff that inputs. Remember, who wins the tech war? Doesn't matter who wins the fucking tech war. I say this all the time. It doesn't fucking matter. You want to be the one who's investing in the companies, providing the bullets, which is the inputs. I hope that's clear as day. Leave a comment below if that doesn't make sense. That's who you want to bet on in the tech war, not who wins it. Who's going to come out with the AI and who's going to come out with the best chips and the best self-driving cars and the best electronics. You don't give a shit. You provide the inputs, because when the cycle price is in the highest amount for tech, which it has, again, go look at like NVIDIA, $3 trillion market cap. Come on. No, you need to figure out where the money's going to go to create that $3 trillion market cap. Does this make sense? Okay. Adobe, gaps down, chopping around. Apple looks like, look at pin this to 235, right on the dot. Looks like it's going to break out. We'll see. Chopping at the highs. I think it's a fade, but be careful going into earnings. Amazon, it could pop for earnings. That's my biggest concern. Chopping around. We know Bezos is selling on every pop. Check the levels, Meta kind of thing. Just chopping here, 20-day. Again, they Zuckerberg basically starts kissing the ring. Price is in it now, the 20-day. CRM. Chopping. Again, this one's been holding up really well. I would, again, be careful shorting. Google, choppy. Looks like it's about to roll over, though. Again, if it gets broken up, this is my biggest question. Is this the part's worth more than the whole? That's what I would think. There might be some stuff that's not worth much, but people would pay a premium some of their pieces. Microsoft chopping around. NDAQ earnings next week. Coming back to the highs. Again, I think ultimately, as I said, if there's a big transition from tech to materials, why would anyone want to trade on the Nasdaq? They're going to be trading on the CME. They're going to be trading on all the different exchanges. Just be careful. That's all I can say. MicroStrategy, we talked about being a top near term. We said you have to hold the 8 and 10, 20 day, 8, 10 day. Nice pop. See what happens. Again, you need follow through. Netflix, was watching this all day. I was like, man, I really want to short this. But you know what? Just give it patience. It feels like a breakout on the monthly, looking like new highs. So could it wick out at some point? Meaning like next day or so, wick or two, 3-day rule in effect. I have zero doubt in my mind that this is a piece of shit in long term. I mean, there's too much competition. There's no money to be made, right? I mean, they're priced in the future. That's the problem here. It's like Tesla, all these companies. When they price in the future, then they have to earn it. Remember, it's not cheap, y'all. It is not cheap to earn your future growth, especially if it prices in, because then the market basically penalizes you and it's like, oh, you got to do better, and you got to do better, you got to do better. All right, pedo blocks pulling back again. I like this at time. I'd love to see the management flip or something, the announcement change. Pan W, someone get fired, holding up near range highs. We talked about, again, if you want to bet on tech within tech, I think cybersecurity stuff is a real demand long term. Tesla, speaking of the devil, just once it prices in the future, we talked about this. It's the middle finger pattern, whatever you want to call it. Now, near term, long term, whatever you want to talk about, it looks like a big trading range. A lot of people get confused by this. And like, oh, I just gotta go, ugh, trade the lows. We've talked about buy the lows, sell the highs. Until that trade changes, kind of looks like silver going nowhere. And then once it gets over the 270s, then you can get long it and go strong. Till then, I think you just sit on the sidelines, or more likely just trade it if you want to trade it. Inside again, I think this gets bought out. Not much to say. Looking in the 50s, Palantir again, I like this company. Potentially, if this is what I think it could be, I don't know. We'll see. If you look at the monthly, there is a high at 44. I just wouldn't chase this. Just wouldn't chase this. McDonald's, because again, a lot of people say this is a $1 trillion company. Breaking out, said watch this if it can continue higher. Again, I guess the markets are loving it. Talked about the breakout. Congrats, DKNG. Look at this, right? Looks dead. I mean, again, I don't think people have discretionary income to continue betting. We've talked about this being a trap. Watching it. Airbnb, trash floats last. Be careful. Again, holding this gap area. I wouldn't be surprised if it chops out. Costco, been a leader, starting to lag. Watching the 50-20 day confluence. Starbucks, going nowhere fast, in my opinion, as it chops around, digesting the post CEO. Again, I think he's going to have a kitchen sink quarter where he's going to throw the kitchen sink. They're going to be like, everything's terrible. And then the market will be like, okay, cool. Now we can move forward with whatever direction, if he's going to be successful or not. FedEx, gaps down on earnings, popping back. Watching that 150-day. I would be watching all of this coming up in time. The high 270s. Caterpillar, been leading up, chopping at the 20-day. Deere, this one looked like it was going to pull back. Interesting action. You hit range highs, you back off. Doesn't necessarily have to be bearish. It could be like a little cup and handle. Worth a watch. Nucor Steel has earnings on Monday, holding up pretty damn well. It looks like, I mean, you could argue it's a little head and shoulders bottom. Be careful there. X mixed the spot. I mean, again, I think this gets bought out, but I'd like to see it pull back. I have a feeling that it'll be tough for them to sell foreign company if Trump's in order. VALE, again, a global growth thing. They sell a ton of stuff to China. Interesting. I don't trust it. Arrow, we like copper, junior copper. We love junior copper long term. Right? It's interesting to see gold breaking out and copper starting to, like an oil kind of. CCJ, again, uranium. I mean, little micro nuclear reactors being the story. Hey, that's awesome. I mean, somebody knew that. Let's see if it continues on. And if it continues on, maybe you get to the trend line up at the highs. I'd be watching somewhere in the low 60s. Congrats. Either way, again, I do not recommend shorting materials. I think, again, the best thing to do is to find them on dips, trade them, and hold them for the long term. I am consistently on record that it's just hard if you're a trader versus an investor. They're different mindsets, so we have to parse through that. CF, again, I like ag names. I think we have to eat, right? Cost of everything goes up, eating will go up as well. NTR, same kind of thing. Again, ag. The ag names went nuts. I think especially if we start, if some of these countries start promoting childbirth, you're going to see ag go nuts. AA, again, we like aluminum, very simple. XLF, to me, it feels like it's the top. This is, again, banks, again, big banks, they feel like people are trying to protect them, inundated to be safe. We'll see about that. JP Mo, again, I don't know why you want to buy back their stock. When they won't buy back their stock, you're at a potentially double top. Morgan Stanley holding up pretty well. Earnings wise, watching this 120s area at new highs. Bank of America, Buffett can't sell this stuff fast enough, but it's okay. He'll let it mark it up. Goldman Sachs, look at this, pops on earnings. Carry, junior banks, again, hold all the issues up at the trend line. Congratulations, again, impressive move. This is where you got to sometimes get out of the way. That's an interesting, worth a watch. XBI, this is like a very legitimate leveraged bullish play, not acting well. Again, junior bios, think about it. Jets, talked about some people looking to short it. You're back up at the highs on the channel range highs. Worth a watch. Again, oil coming down to help Jets, but I think demand destruction is real for this. Housing holding up pretty well. Again, overall, in the real scheme of things, I mean, I should screenshot there was like some surveys that were done by the insider groups that I'm in about what do they feel about how the market is in real estate and what their clients are saying. And it is bad. It is pretty fucking bad out there. Excuse my language. But hey, guess what? Liquidity, pump in the market. Solar, this is where you got to define your risk. Crap. Sedge said this is going to 15. I have zero doubt. ENPH has earnings coming up. Broke the range lows. Be careful. ENPH, I think it is Tuesday afternoon. First Solar, we talked about the 200-day. So far, Trying. We talked about the top. HYG. Again, you got to be out of your mind to buy corporate debt, in my opinion. USO, again, I like oil long term. I like it at lows. I don't want to change. Chase. We talked about UNG. I hate the UNG. I think it's a fucking terrible product. Excuse my language. I think the best thing to do is just short KLD if you want to go. This is like a de facto long natural gas, but you need to short it, right? Makes sense? I like it up here in the 80s. We talked about the trade. If you took profits down here, leave a comment. High five. Love it. XOP coming to the trend line, 100-day, 200-day, backing off. Again, this is why it's tough to trust this stuff. Right, long term, I think you'll be fine, but near term, it's if you're a trader, you're holding options, you got to be careful. CBE, chopping at the lows. Valero, oil and gas names, they seem to be, again, gasoline names. Demand, look at this, holding at the lows. Be careful, please. MPC, same kind of thing. Exxon looks like it's going to break out. Man, they pinned this thing right to 120. OPEX, right? There's another trend line there, isn't there? Y'all see this? Something like that. I don't know. Worth watching. Has to hold 120s. Occidental again. I think this is Buffett knows something. He's going to buy the more of this. It's a big choppy range. Again, if you're buying the range of lows, I feel like long term you're going to be fine. EQT, again, I like this long term. I absolutely think natural gas will be exported big time because they're going to want to try to get away from gasoline. There's plenty of natural. The thing is, there's abundance of natural gas. Here you go. Tankers export 11% dividend yield. All right. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Always here to help. Love you guys. Leave a comment below. Hit the heart button. If you want to make a donation, let me know. Sending money to relief funds in North Carolina. Talk to you guys and gals later. Peace in the Middle East. Holla.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, stop by the Discord room. A link is in the description below. Also, if you'd like to help support more free content, the PayPal link is in the description as well. I appreciate your continued support of the channel.